I would like to introduce
Real Talk, Real Life.
Okay, let's go.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Real Talk, Real Life. It's the last episode of season 1. I am super excited. I am here with Lars.
Hey.
I'm switching up the format today. Usually I speak first and then the guest comes in later, but no, this time we're changing up the format. What's up, everybody? My name is Suthu Nkambule. I always introduce myself without fail for those who don't know me. And creating opportunities is what I live for, and that's what we're doing right now. Exactly. So everyone at home, once again, thank you so much for tuning in. It's been an amazing season with you guys. We wouldn't be here. Lance and I wouldn't be sitting in this situation if it wasn't for you guys. So this means a lot. And before we get into the conversation, you always know that we have some music. We're going to preview. Actually, because we're changing up things today, he's gonna tell you about the song you're gonna hear before the conversation starts.
Y'all not ready, man. This last, guys, I'm finna play y'all some new, unreleased, well, it depends on when you release this episode, but yeah, some new music by me, produced by me and my friends, and yeah, just vibe with it, connect with it, share with your friends, and yeah.
Now for a break.
Yeah. I pull up and kill out the roots. Dip off and reroute the route. The whip out the tie down, I'm beyond the roof. They cut off for my garden loop. Ooh. Closing time, we handle business, no overtime. I was on the clock nearly all the time. Slay 9 to 5, then I get a ride. Oh, closing time, we handle business, no overtime. I was on the clock nearly all the time. Slay 9 to 5, then I get a ride. Ooh. How it work, whack, can use a break, facts. I ain't come to hold your hand, handle business, then I leave on my bag. Tell her leave her other bags in the past. Rendezvous outside the crib round the back. Your baby dad could catch a fade if you ask, cause I ain't with it if it's no strings attached. 17, I had the gin in my cup. 18, swimming laps in my blood. The candy found a second home in my lungs, so the Trinity just said enough is enough. No more trying to make it work if it don't. Yak said slavery a choice and he chose to yank the people out the box and it shows. Niggas can't be wavy till they get out the boat. Don't fret. Don't drown the work, don't get wet. Find rest and gotta lose stress. Cut off the demons, embrace the reasons. I pull up and kill out the roots. I dip off and reroute the route. The whip out the tie down, I'm beyond the roof. They cut off for my garden loop. Ooh. Closing time, we handle business, no overtime. I was on the clock nearly all the time. Slay 9 to 5, then I get a ride. Oh, closing time, we handle business, no overtime. I was on the clock nearly all the time. Slay 9 to 5, then I get a ride. Ooh. Running from problems, evading the truth. Running to college, invading the school. Moonwalk on water, they vacate the pool. I run it to you. Closing time, we handle business, no overtime. I was on the clock nearly all the time. Slay 9 to 5, then I get a ride. Oh, we talking pretty, you can't even copy that. They been feeling for the ladder, kick the genie out the lab. I be walking in my sleep, chasing dreams, might catch a cab. Ain't no shortcut to the top, I mean the top ain't on the map. Lost count of all the times my teachers kicked me out of class. Trying to add up all the years I spent outside next to the trash. I had dirt all on my name, had to clean up my whole act. Barely holding it together, beat the games of muscle mass. This roller coaster came with the controller. Going through it, poker face like the Mona Lisa. No more Lisa, we are the owners. Cheese and show my pearly whites on my motor. Shout out T, Naomi, Percy, and the Toyota. Kick the beamer off the road, lost the motor. Channel surfing when I'm bored on decoders. Channeling the moon, evicting the polar.
Prepare for launch in 3, 2, 1.
Okay, so that was the track, and just tell us a bit more about the track, Lars.
Yeah, so that was Eviction Notice. That's a song that surprisingly I made that song. I got the melody and the chorus while I was at my job. Like as soon as my shift ended, I was singing the chorus. Like, ooh, closing time, we finally, and then
couple months later, I wrote it down because I was like, this is dope. A couple months later, I got the beat from Blue, one of the producers I work with, and it was just, as soon as I heard it, I knew what it was. I knew it was something special, and then it took me a while to write because on like the first verse, I didn't want it to be like all centered around work. I wanted it to be, because work means different things, so I wanted to explore that. So then it was that I turned it into not just my 9 to 5, but me trying to make certain situations work, trying to force matters, trying to be other people, pleasing people, and that type of stuff.
It has a lot of like a gold link vibe, and is that what you normally listen to, like, to get inspiration? Or
honestly,
is your variations very wide?
I wouldn't say I listen to Gold Link for inspiration. I'm a fan of Gold Link. I think he's really good at what he does, but I don't look to him for inspiration. I think whenever you hear my music, it's me. Obviously I do have like influences, but then I try to be as lost as possible. People say I sound like Baz, Isaiah Rashad. I mean, it's cool, but you'll get used to my voice eventually. And
you think, is that one of like the hardest parts of being a rapper, is trying to like make sure that your sound is heard and not someone to say you sound like this or you sound like that?
That's a great question. I wouldn't say it's hard at all. In fact, I'd say it's one of the most rewarding parts, because once you find what you've been searching for, there's no going back, and people identify with what you've been working towards. I look at some of my favorites, like Chance. The first time I heard Chance the rapper, Chance the rapper, I thought like, this guy sounds like Lil Wayne. But now his voice is so unique. As soon as I hear him, I know it's him. So I think it's rewarding. I'll say that.
And like, just talking about music as an industry itself, coming out and saying I'm an artist is like, I want to like connect it as coming out if you're like gay or something, because it's like you're different, and you have a lot of attention given to you, and you're supposed to live with that attention. And does that have to connect with your character? Like, for example, if you're a shy person, is being a rapper like really hard for you to like uphold, or is it based on your character basically?
This is why we're here, bro. Amazing questions. Amazing questions. This is why we're here. What I will say is, there's a lot of expectations you have to, that you're faced with. Let me say, I hope that makes sense. Like, people expect you to be a certain way. People expect you to be loud, to be, abrasive. So many things. But it is challenging because people may not take you as seriously as they'll take other people because you're different, But right now, there's so many people out here like making music, so I feel there's a bigger pool of character now. Like, there's different types of people in music. There's more people like myself. It's not just me, and I think everyone should try to. They should strive to make creative community. That's what we've done with my friends. We have a community where we come together as creatives, like-minded people, similar goals. We share, we just discuss, and these are my friends, so just knowing that I have people that I can always take my craziest ideas to, that, because it's so easy to isolate yourself, and be like, will people understand what I'm doing? And so having creative community is essential, I'd say.
And when did you say you finally came out to say, hey, I'm a rapper?
I feel like I still haven't fully come out. That's me being honest. I feel like if I meet you for the first time, it's not one of the first few things I'll say about myself. Most of the people at my school have heard that I rap or make music from this guy right here, right? Or from other people. I rarely have to, tell people I do this and that. So I feel I haven't really come out, and we haven't really marketed and promoted stuff the way that we really can. We haven't pushed all the way. So it's a process, day by day.
And being in Taiwan, is your mindset different on your approach on the music?
Definitely. I think coming to Taiwan, I don't want to say it opened my eyes, because that might come off a bit racist. but I will say I've made the best music I've ever made ever since I moved out here. I mean, the approach is completely different, because back home, I knew when I was making music, I was making it for my friend group. It would just stay there. But now, whenever I make music, it's like, okay, there's a whole new audience here, there's a whole new batch of opportunities that I can explore. So it kind of excites me and motivates me to make music, because I'm like, how far can I take this? And how many people can I reach? How much impact can I have? So knowing that I can do a lot more from this side of the world it's just that alone, it's just amazing.
Don't you feel like, for example, people always ask, how do you even get these things done because of the English barriers and like also the cultures are different. Do you feel like that alone gives you more motivation to keep on like pursuing this? Because back home you kind of comfortable, everything's around you, where the producer is. Exactly. I can go to this producer. If I feel like he's too expensive, I can go to the other one. Here you kind of don't have that resource. So when you want to make a track, you really need to like go out your way and find it. And even when you find it, you make sure you produce the best, because you won't have another chance to find this guy, you know what I mean? So do you feel like your level of productivity has kind of like increased here?
Definitely, being home, there's that complacency knowing that, the studio's like a 10-minute walk from my house. Knowing those type of things, it kind of like, it demotivated me knowing that I have so much choice. I could record at Swazi Jive. Oh no, they're too expensive. I could record at my friend's house. Oh no, it ain't quality, so it's just different factors. But when I got to Taiwan, it's like the first person I met with the microphone. I was like, bro, I've got this project I need to record. So I didn't even care if he couldn't speak English. We taught each other. Like now we know how to communicate. So I don't even know what your question was, but coming to Taiwan, it changed everything for me, and I'm excited to see how far we can take this. And I think for you as well, it doesn't apply to me. It's a lot easier to break into new markets from here, Europe and the US.
One thing I could say for people back home specifically who have a hustle that they want to pursue at a very young age, being away from home kind of makes you more hungry to get it, because
Definitely.
the people that you are trying to bring to your market or whatever you're giving out, they don't know you, so they know you. They want to know your product, not you. So when you deliver something, you need to deliver the best to them. So they judge you off your product, not by who you are. Back home, someone will support you
because of who you are.
Suddenly, because they just know you as Lars or Fufu. That's Fufu, that's my homie. I've known him for years, so I'm gonna buy whatever he's selling. you know.
Do you think that affects the product and the content that we make back home? Because knowing that no matter what happens,
I'll always have a buyer, I'll always have a listener, so you don't develop your skill. You know, you become, you know, like comfortable, and like for me, that's why I decided, you know what, let me branch out. And like people see branching out as, bro, you don't want to be in SD no more, bro. You're leaving everything behind. Why would you put yourself in that situation? But I feel like when you jump out of it, you kind of like giving yourself the opportunity to grow as an individual, and also to like put more energy in your craft. I mean, if you were to go back, you thought about being a musician when you were still in Swaziland.
of course.
And
Of course.
when you were writing, because I know in class, maybe at home, you were writing your lyrics and you felt good about your lyrics, right? But because you're so comfortable at home and people don't know you in this light, you didn't then decide, I'm just gonna start spitting bars, I'm just gonna start dropping tracks at home. Is that the case?
With me, it hasn't always been like that. Especially when I started, I was always around people that were really good, a lot better than I was. Like most of my friends, they were dope rappers, and I was just this guy rhyming bad with cat and had. So it was just like there was always competition. As complacent as we were, knowing like this is home, there was always competition. Like, yo, I wanna be better than he is, you know. And which I mean, looking back now, it was actually pretty toxic, you know, because I was so focused at being better than the next person. I wasn't focusing on being the best version of myself. And that's something I realized when I came over here, because there wasn't really anyone to compare myself to. It was just me. So I was like, I just put my head down. We started developing everything, and now we're here. And
now how do the folks know about this? Like, how do they feel about this? Because, you know, maybe coming from being part of like the entertainment section and like industry, it's very hard to kind of break that off to your parents and for them to be very supportive about it. And like I've heard different stories. I've heard, you know, some people say their parents were fine, some were not. So in your case, how was that experience like?
Bro, with me, the thing is, I want to say I come from a musical family. Let me just say, a lot of people in my family make music. So I have a cousin. You may have heard of him. He made that song, that DD song.
Really?
Yeah. So that's
what. Sans is your cousin.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was always this awkward thing, because I think my mom always knew that I was into music. So at family gatherings, I just always like gravitate towards him. And I remember how when he started out, there wasn't always support, you know. So it was always like, you're wasting your time, you should be in school. And then he popped off, and like everyone's energy changed. So I always bring that up, like, you guys really switched up though, you know. So, but then this year, before we put out this the lead single, Eviction Notice, I spoke to my dad first. I was like, yo, I'm doing music and I think I'm pretty good. I want to see how far I can take it. And he was surprisingly supportive. Surprisingly supportive. He encouraged me. He was like, go for it. And he was asking for the lyrics the other day. He's like, I don't understand what you're saying, but you've got this passion, you've got this. And it was just coming from my dad. My mom's supporting me as well, but coming from my dad, it just meant so much more.
Yeah.
So much more. Like, my relationship with my dad, I've always been trying to like make my dad proud.
Yeah.
Because that's Superman to me.
Yeah.
What's your relationship with your dad?
I feel like my relationship with my dad is it's a lot more serious now.
Yeah.
Because I am the first son. You know?
You're the first son.
I'm the first son. So before it was very chill back, bro. Like we used to play golf together. We used to like play PlayStation together, which was weird, bro. Like
how long ago was this?
This was like maybe primary, like late primary,
okay.
beginning of high school. You know, like we would play FIFA together and like, you know, over time.
He beat you though. Right?
No, I'd smack him crazy, bro. Smack him crazy. And then over time, he kind of realized that, yo, this is my first son. I need to kind of, you know, groom him, because if I pass, you know, God forbid, he needs to kind of step up in a way. You know, they always have that mentality. And, you know, the conversations we started having were different. You know, like, okay, I was lucky enough to get an allowance every month, right? Especially when I finished high school and I took the gap year. He was like, what's your budget for today? Like, how are you spending your time? What are you doing? Like, are you gonna do something that will help you in the future? You know, it started getting more serious, you know? And like, when I told him about the podcast, he was very excited to the point where he was like, your goal must be to make it commercial, you know, make it to a point where you're earning something out of it, you know. So he was also teaching me how to be financial. So it became, you know, from playful to more serious, and I appreciate it, of course, but you know, you always want to have that, especially if you grew up with it, you always want to have that joyful side with your father, with your mother.
Like you said, sorry to cut you off. Like you just said, he's sort of preparing you for, like, God forbid, if he passes. Would you say he's prepared you?
I would say I am still in the oven right now. I'm still in the oven. I think him sending me to Taiwan is also giving me, because I've never been to boarding school. I've always been a day scholar, sleep with my parents, wake up with my parents. So him sending me out here is kind of like also like showing that, yo, there's a life without us. You know, there's a life where you wake up and you decide what you want to do. If you want to wake up and eat McDonald's every day, then it's on you, but there's a consequence. You know, if you want to wake up and go to the club every day, it's on you, but there's a consequence. So they're giving me that freedom to kind of live on my own, and I appreciate that. I feel like when this experience is over, then I'll be ready, you know. But
that's beautiful.
And you know, being able to like share, you know, these type of things with your parents, do you feel like you also now comfortable like to really dig deep into this music?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think for the longest time, that's been holding myself and my friends included back, knowing that we can't go all out because at the end of the day, our parents want us to be in school and they want us to be successful, and they feel if we do music, we won't be successful. So now that everything is out in the open, there's no excuse for me at this point. You know, I have to go all in, and I think it also helps my relationship with my parents, because through my music they get to know me as a person, because most of my life they've known me as their son. You know, now they get to understand me as a human being, like what I actually go through, because we don't really talk about everything in detail. So it's, I mean,
so like for example, if you had a bad day in high school, like during high school, your high school periods, like were you able to express your feelings to your parents? Like, were you able to sit down on the table and say, hey dad, I had a fight with my friend today, and like,
no way. High school was bro. Okay, so it got to a point where my parents didn't understand me. You know, they didn't understand what I was struggling with, but like I was going through, and they wanted to, you know, they were like, yo, listen, this boy, the psychology. Yeah, and that was interesting. Interesting experience. And I think this year has been the best year. Like, we communicate so freely now. Like, my mom can call me anytime and I'll pick up. If she calls me right now, I'm gonna pick up. It's that type of thing. We talk as much as, I think that's her right now.
Really?
No. It's not. But yeah, we're in such a great place right now. Me and my parents, we talk about everything. They're able to express themselves to me, like, hey man, I'm struggling with this, what do you think? They would be like, you're better than that. And yeah, so I think having a great relationship with your parents or parental figures is essential as well.
Essential.
Yeah.
It's essential to everything, even in terms of what you believe in, you know? Because I feel like whenever things get like down and slow, your parents will always be there for you regardless, you know? You don't really have to search for like enlightenment and someone to like help you out. With your parents, you know, be them busy or not, they are there, you know, and they will give you the honesty and the truth to get out of whatever situation that you're in. And with that said, like, with the future ahead, do you feel like there are more projects that your parents would be there to see?
What do you mean?
Like, basically, I'm just asking you, nigga, like, is there more in store?
Oh, my nigga, of course. What type of question is that? I mean, of course, there's so much we have. There's so much we'd like to do. God's willing, we'll be able to do it. But we just take it day by day. Right now, we're focusing on what's on our plate, getting this to the people, and we move on. But we don't want it to get to a point where you can spend time with the music. You know, we don't want to like put out new stuff at like really frequent levels. I want to get to a point where I can put out a project every 2-3 years. You know, I don't know how long it'll take, but that would be ideal because it's an experience at the end of the day. It's not just a compilation of songs. That's what we sell. We sell experiences, and yeah.
Why is that? Like, do you feel like when you drop too much or you release too much, you're not giving people the chance to kind of like, you know, digest the content that you've given out?
What I will say is this, bro. I feel that strategy works for certain people because we have different approaches to music. I wouldn't wait 2 years for a Gucci Mane album. You know, there's some people that put out projects frequently because the type of music they make has a short shelf life.
Like you feel like Drake is allowed to wait. We can wait 2 years for a Drake album and be like, okay, this is good.
The same with Kendrick, J. Cole, and I don't want to. Oh, sorry, let me not go there. What I was saying was, if the music has a short shelf life, then you have to put it out at a frequent rate.
Yes.
But if you build something that will stand the test of time, that you can reflect on in 5-10 years and be like, oh, you know, that's the goal. That's the goal. We want to start. We're more focused on building a catalog of solid projects. Yeah.
I want to take this back to the beginning of the conversation where you mentioned how when your song is played, you want people to be like, this is Lars, and like, this is not influenced by, you know, anything else. Do you feel? I hope I'm not changing.
You're not paraphrasing. Let me let you finish.
Okay. So basically, I'm saying, do you feel like in this day and age it's very hard for people to kind of like be comfortable with their identity and grow with it, you know?
Yeah, with their own identity.
Yeah.
It's extremely difficult, bro. It's been extremely difficult for myself. I can't speak for other people. Something that I hated was social media. I hated social media at a point in time. That's when I dipped off and like I was off.
And you vanished and like everyone was like, what happened to Lars?
Exactly.
Where is he?
Exactly. It's because every time I went on social media, it felt like I was being reminded of what I don't have. You know, because people had like, whether it was likes, whether it was clothes, whether it was popularity, whatever it was, I felt like every time I logged on, I was like being exposed to something that wasn't necessarily for me, you know, and you know, I felt like I needed these things to be like accepted. Let me say, because I wasn't accepting myself. But then I took some time off. I figured everything out. Not everything. That's a lie.
So, for example, what else could you tell someone who's probably in the same situation right now? Like, what are the ways to get out of that mindset?
Yeah. That's a great question. You just need to understand that it won't happen. It's not like a switch that you can turn on and off. It's a process because you have to change the way you think, the way you look at people, and you have to change the way you look at yourself. You need to look, you need to start focusing on your own strengths and surround yourself with people that really appreciate you, people that see the value in you. There's so many things you could do, bro, but the first thing I did was I just deleted everything off of my phone and I went outside. I know that sounds cliche, but I lived like in the real world, because social media is, I don't want to say it's not the real world, but it's a projected version of the world we live in. Like, people show you what they want to see. Like when you Google pictures of Eswatini, you see beautiful pictures because that's what people want to show you. But you don't see this, like,
the reality of it. Yeah.
Exactly. So with social media, don't base your life on social media, bro. I mean, if you get 500 likes, that don't make you cool in the real world. I mean, that's what I'm gonna say. Just go outside and actually connect with people.
Like people could be on Twitter trying to, like, they tweet something and they kind of get like 2 likes and 1 retweet and they like trip out and be like, what the fuck?
Maybe no one agrees with what I'm saying. It's not about the likes, and you know that's where we are right now. We have to adapt, but you know, engagement isn't a currency, bro. Like the more people that you engage with, that doesn't mean you are. Like it doesn't dictate your value. Let me say. Like sure, you have like all these followers, but what else do you have to offer? Like,
you know,
do you have? Yeah.
You know, as you're saying that, people feel like if you have a lot of influence, even if your content isn't, you know, inspiring or moving, but the fact that you've got a verified tick on your account, you're important.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, I'm not gonna give you guys instructions on how to live, but I just stopped basing my value and my importance on social media. I stopped.
And has it done a lot to, like, for you?
Yeah, bro. I'm like, actually, I'm at peace. No, I don't have to, because when I was like heavy, the reason I had to step away from social media is because I was like super into it. So I was like spending like hours a day on Instagram, like seeing what people are doing, seeing how I can like get better at what I do. So where was I going with that point? Why did I look at my phone?
This is the last episode, guys, so we're gonna drag it. Usually people may think, you know, usually our conversations are 15 minutes like long, but this is the last episode, so we are gonna drag this for an hour. I'm joking. Nice. Yeah, but you were saying you were on it for hours and
Yeah.
consumed most of your time.
Yeah, it got to a point where like I would have a picture that I really liked, and I'm like, I can't post this because no one else would like it. So I cared so much about what other people thought. Like that was the number one thing before I like. It affected me in so many ways, even my music. Before I like write a song, like people won't like me talking about this, they won't like me, going in this direction. And I think me going through that period helped me so much because now I don't care. Like whether or not, I think that's part of the reason I haven't fully come out as an artist. Like, hey guys, this is me. It's because I'm not concerned anymore about people.
So Eviction Notes was the first song you ever dropped.
Can I just finish what I said? I just said I'm not concerned about people. I never finished my thought. I'm not concerned about people. How do I finish this thought? I care about people, obviously. I just don't
care about their judgment, maybe? No?
Here's the thing. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I do.
Yeah?
Maybe I do still care. But it doesn't dictate my decision making. Like, if I make a song and I think people won't like this, that won't stop me from putting it out. Or something like that.
Or stop you from recording another one.
Yeah, or stop me from doing other things. Like, people may be like, yo, you good at music, you should stay there. It won't stop me from doing something else I'm into. So I care about people. Yikes.
Yeah, it's very hard to face.
Yikes.
No, but I'm sure they get what you're trying to say. I'm sure you guys will understand. And I was branching into Eviction Note, like asking you, was that the first ever song you've dropped?
There's a funny story behind that. So around this time last year, I was like recording this project back home, and I wasn't happy with the way it was coming out. So I'd share my music with my friends, my creative community, and they were pissed off. They're like, the song is hard, you should put this out. I was like, I don't like it, the quality's trash. And around this time last year, I did the song in February 2018, around November, the 26th of November, I remember the date. My friend, he's one of my producers, he leaked one of my songs. And there's this time difference, so he put it out while I was asleep. So when I woke up the next morning, my phone's going crazy. People are like, yo, Lars, you really out here, bro. I'm proud of you. You're doing the things. You sound good. And I'm like, how did this happen? And I was tripping, bro. I was like, bro, you don't do this type of stuff. And But if it wasn't for him putting out my music, I don't think we'd be where we are today. So when we got to Eviction Notice, it was like, okay, guys, this is the real deal. This is like official. No leaks, no, this is what I'm proud of. This is what I want you guys to hear. Because the previous stuff, I didn't really want people to hear it. So, yeah, Eviction Notice, to answer your question, was the first song I officially put out.
Alright, there we go.
I'm sorry.
There we go. For those who may be asking, who is Lars and how did you get up to being called Lars?
Yeah.
Is there a story behind that? I always ask people about their names because I feel like that's what you're presenting to people. Yeah. So is there a way you came up with that?
Yes, I had this conversation with Brian last night. We were talking about how I don't really have different people know me by different names. And that says a lot about our relationship. Like, mostly my friends and family call me Lars because my dad named me after the Saint Larson. My dad did his varsity in Germany, and I think he was exposed to a lot there. So maybe he was a figure of importance that side. I don't know. Then my other name, Bauer, is my middle name. It means farmer. So yeah, my dad was really out here giving me these fun names. And my mom wasn't for it, but my dad saw the vision. Yeah. He's like, my son gonna be a rapper.
Yeah.
So that's basically how I got my name from my dad.
Alright. Man, I feel like I'm gonna close this off.
Bro,
I feel like they've heard enough. They've heard enough.
Have you guys heard enough?
I don't know. Maybe.
I hope they've been listening.
I also hope so. But
too.
you know, this is the last episode, guys. If you have any questions whatsoever, you can find us on comments. You can find us on DMs. You can call us on WhatsApp if you want.
Please don't. don't.
If you want a part 2, listen. If you want a part 2, there's season 2 coming out. We can always, put this in. But I think time has run out, and
How long has been?
I think we're going for 40 minutes, which is crazy. Eviction note is out once again.
Yeah.
Project underway. Do you want to tell them about the project underway?
Let's talk about the project.
Okay, so we gotta
crunch time. Okay,
yeah.
So the project. This is an exclusive. You about to get the exclusive, bro. The project is called Behind Closed Doors. Yeah. So it's a 2-part EP. Ooh, what does that mean? So when we started with the project, we made a 10-song project. But then, we decided it was a group decision that we're going to divide the project into 2.
Okay.
So we're gonna give people a 5-song EP.
Okay.
Because it'll be easier to digest. I feel putting out the 10-song project is putting all my eggs in one basket. And I'm curious to see how this pans out, because I'm not sure if it's been done before by someone in our field, but I'm looking forward to see how that comes out. But yeah, Behind Closed Doors.
Do we have a projected date for it? No?
2019.
Oh!
2019.
2019's almost. We're almost at the end, so that means.
Yeah, that's a promise. We I don't know when this will come out. The project might even be out. Who knows? Depends on Fufu's schedule.
Alright, bro. So you guys keep that covered. Whenever this comes out, I'm sure it'll be out. If it's out, you guys can know on our page, both on Larson's page, both on my page, both on Real Talk Real Lives page. So once again, thank you for tuning in, guys. We wouldn't be here without you guys. Love you all. Thank you so much. We out.
Real talk, real life.